Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please welcome to the neighborhood a man who is always in perfect harmony, joining us as we speak. Here he is with a bowl of something in his hand. Is that breakfast?
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Try not to choke to death on our show. Is,
Wait, hold
is
on.
there somebody pointing a laser at you? What's
There's a
going on?
laser. I'm having laser treatment as we're talking, actually.
There we go.
That'd be a nice chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a delight. We have back for the third time in the what? What dear?
He's gonna burn his retinas.
Yeah. But it's out of your eyes. I think he lowered your retinas are okay.
Is it all right?
Yeah, you look great. You look great.
It's 7:30 in the morning here, by the way, in LA.
How is it? Is it beautiful weather in LA like it always is, or?
It is beautiful. It's gotten beautiful. It was a little chilly, but now yesterday summer actually hit officially.
Let me ask you, Jason. By the way, this is Jason Graae. You've seen him on Broadway. You've seen him off Broadway. He's doing a tribute.
A happy May Day.
A happy May Day to you, Jason. But
Thank
here's a
you.
question. You're a theater guy. You are a cabaret guy. Why LA?
That's a terrible thing to say to anybody. I came out to LA to do Forbidden Hollywood so long ago. We did the premiere of it, Gerard Alessandrini, who did Forbidden Broadway, premiered a new show, Forbidden Hollywood, in 1995, I think. And so I came out here with Christine Petty and Jerry McIntyre and Suzanne Blakesley, and I stayed. I actually was going back and forth. I kept my apartment in New York, but I really liked LA. I liked doing TV. That was really fun. And then I got evicted from my apartment in New York, so I just became a Los Angelino out of default.
You're literally where you're living now is larger. What we're seeing is larger than a New York apartment. So congratulations, my man.
You get a little space here. You do get a little space. And now I have to tell you, I live under the hoe of the Hollywood sign. So, yes, kind of apropos, the hoe.
The hoe of the Hollywood. Well, we won't go there. By the way, I can tell people as we wait for our other guests in the Today Yesterday quiz that I first met Jason when I was running the box office for a show that he was in off Broadway 25, God, maybe 30 years ago now, called Olympus on My Mind at the Actors Outlet Theater on 28th Street. And I just remember him being, and the people in that show were like Faith Prince, Ron Raines, who was else was Peter Capitan. Yeah.
Peter Capitan, Louis Stadlin.
Of course, Louis Stadlin, yeah, who was on this show last year, yeah.
He was. It's so funny. I played his twin. And Emily Zacharias, Peggy Hewitt. It was an incredible, incredible cast.
Was that your first big show, as it were? I mean, it went eventually on Broadway, I think, with Joyce DeWitt. But did you, was that like the first big moment for you in New York theater?
No, I had other moments, but I had done some floppy kind of shows. And so I guess maybe it might have been my first, kind of hit show. I mean, it was an odd beginning, that show. We started it as a workshop called Heaven on Earth with a chorus. It was a very different feel, and it ran like almost 3 hours, and it wasn't really well received. And then we started doing backers auditions, and Faith Prince had auditioned for the show, and they loved her so much, but they couldn't find a character for her, and her character wasn't in the original workshop. So they added this whole subplot of Murray the Furrier, the fake producer of Olympus on My Mind, and his wife, who had no talent at all. And she came out and modeled his furs and all that stuff. So they added this gimmick to the show when we moved to the Actors Outlet, and it became a big hit. And none of us knew what to do, because Faith would walk on stage, stop the action to sell one of her husband's furs, and she had no talent. And we'd all just stop and go, what the hell is happening? And that's kind of what made the show work.
Well, it was also very clever, very tuneful. But I'm a little surprised that it hasn't had. I mean, they've done it, I guess, in community and regionals, but it really hasn't had a return life, and I'm kind of surprised at that because it was a good piece of work. So I'm
Well,
just
you know, there is that basic plot about this god that is just disguises himself as different people to come down to Earth to go to bed with any woman he wants to. So
right.
maybe it's a little misogynistic.
Yeah, so we won't see it for another 20 more years, and then Scott Rudin ain't going to produce it now. So there you go. There.
There you go. There you go.
Let me let me bring in, by the way, one of the people who's also going to play the Today Yesterday quiz with you. He is a writer, a blogger. He's also the former president of the Drama Desk. Won't you please welcome to the neighborhood? Welcome back to the neighborhood, David Sheward. Hello, David. And David, do you recognize? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think you must recognize our special guest playing the Today Yesterday quiz. Oh,
Just say yes, David. Just say yes.
Yes.
his hair darker. He was in Hello Mugga Hello Fada. He was in
Jason Graae.
Huh?
Jason Graae.
You win the game.
You got it. That is, in fact, Jason Graae joining us for the third time in the neighborhood. So
Nice to see you.
until Leslie decides to or is able to join us.
Did you want to tell Jason about the pen and paper and the stuffed animal?
Oh, yes. A couple of things, Jason.
I know the
In
scores.
pre-preparation for the quiz, do you have a pen and paper handy?
I will.
Yes, you will. And it can be scrapped, like just a little piece of whatever, and a crayon or blood.
Dave, you're
Back
so
with
good
an
for me.
envelope.
Oh my God, wait a sec. I'm in my office and I can't find one pen, but hold on just a second.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, isn't that always the way?
And tell
Here's a
us-
pen. I have a pen, Dave.
Totem.
To- Oh, and if you have any stuffed animals or unstuffed animals or real animals, we generally
Any totem. It could be a totem.
any kind of totem,
Or
any
familiar. Like, are you familiar?
piece of memorabilia from a show, perhaps. Oh, look at that! Yeah. Whoa! Why do you have that? Do you play hockey or have you been killing people?
It's from my Friday the 13th days. Was Jason.
Oh,
Oh, because you're Jason. I get it. Oh, I didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
I got that. I got that.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
Let me. By the way, let me also push something, as it
It's a
were.
sound effect.
we people can see you doing a tribute to Jerry Herman. How can I not remind people of this? It's called Perfect Hermany. You've been doing it for a few years in different ways. Where's the latest? How can people see it? What is it?
Yeah, it's been streaming for 5 weeks, and this is the closing weekend. It's been streaming. It was co-produced by two great theater companies that I've worked at that I love. One in LA, Musical Theater West, and which is in Long Beach, and then the others at 42nd Street Moon Theater in San Francisco, where I've worked a lot, and they're great friends of mine. And so they co-produced it, and my friend, musical director John Boswell, and I filmed it about a month and a half ago, and it's been streaming. It's peculiar because it's a live cabaret show for no audience, but we were like in the same room together, which was thrilling. And the people on the production crew had their masks on and they were covering their mouths, laughing, trying not to laugh out loud, which is the story of all our lives for the last 15 months. But it was really fun to do. And it's the first time that I have so many stories because I've worked with Jerry so closely over the last 20 years. And so it was first time that I've done this show since he passed. And it was really moving. It's really moving.
Would you mind sharing a great Jerry Herman story? I mean, not to take away from the show itself, but if you want to share or share one that isn't that didn't make the cut.
Well, I can't share those things, but just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know so many great stories about him. Well, one of the things I talk about in the show, and then I sing "You're My Best Girl," but we traveled the country in the show called Hello, Jerry, and it was Jerry and me and Karen Morrow. Perhaps you've heard of her.
Oh, yes.
And Paige O'Hara and Don Pippin, who was his musical director for years, as conductor and mime, and So one of the things, aside from finding out that Jerry had a wicked, naughty sense of humor, and he was funny and he was generous and he was as optimistic and hopeful as his songs.
He really was. He really was, like all those songs are coming out. That's how he was, right?
That's really how he was. And it really came from his mother. And he loved to talk about that his mother was, she had the wit of Dolly Levi and the class of Mame Dennis. And he said that every morning before going to school, his mother would burst into the room to wake him up. She'd open the shutters and she'd yell, "It's today."
And of course the song came out. Wow. That is, I mean, kind of wonder what they would have been like if Stephen Sondheim and Jerry Herman had swapped moms. A completely different musical theater idiom all over the place.
Possibilities are limitless.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
I was just going to say, on a tangent, I just saw this commercial that the Buzzer Network is going to have a celebration of theater people on game shows. And they're showing on May the 16th, and they're showing a rare episode of Password with Stephen Sondheim and Lee Remick.
Oh my God.
I had no idea. Wow. I didn't even know he did. That's pretty freaking
Like
cool.
from the mid 60s. It's in black and white.
I bet that's an intense half hour.
A Password, yes.
Whoa.
Have you worked with Sondheim, Jason, directly? Have you?
I've done a couple things with him in New York that he was indirectly involved. I did Bruce Kimmel's first album that he did on his Spotlight series, which was Unsung Sondheim. And I sang this great song, No Marianne, which was great. And it's a great album of all these unknown Sondheim songs. And so Sondheim was involved, he'd listen to the playbacks and, he put in his 2 cents and all that. So, I knew him. I certainly did a lot of readings at the Dramatists Guild and ASCAP and BMI workshops and things like that. But I was never in a Sondheim show from the beginning that he did. I did make the mistake. I did Forum at the York Theater and I played Hysterium. God, this was in 1991, I think. And Pam Hunt directed it and it was fun. And the night Sondheim came to see the show, it was a great show for Hysterium. I was so excited. And I asked everybody not to tell anybody when he was coming, not to tell me when he was coming. And after the show, he had just had an injury and he'd broken his leg or something like that. And he was standing backstage and he hadn't shaved in a while because he could barely move. And I was so overwhelmed to see him. And I was so funny that night. And I knew how excited he must have been to see me. And so I threw my arms around him. and hugged him so tight. And he recoiled.
Well, he was in pain. Yeah.
He was in pain then.
Ow. Wow.
I was so overwhelmed to see him. I couldn't help it.
I get it. Even 30 years ago, he was already like, on Olympus, as it were. Let me ask, how have you been managing during the pandemic? As an actor, as a singer, a performer, what have you been doing besides this taping of Perfect Harmony? How's it been?
Well, it's, I'll tell you the main thing that has really saved my sanity. For almost a year, I took a writing class with Claudette Sutherland, who, anybody want to remember who she is?
The name sounds familiar. I'm trying to think.
The game show has begun, but now I'm the host. Claudette she was the original Smitty in How to Succeed in Business.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
And she's a great writing teacher. I've known her through the business out here, through a lot of friends. And she was always trying to get me to take the class because I write my own crap and cabaret shows and things like that, but I would never call myself a writer. And she was like, I want to get a hold of you. I want to get a hold of you and do this. And so I had no excuse. I was, usually I'm on the road and I'm going places, so I can never do it. So she had this great Zoom writing class, and Faith Prince took it with me as well. And we did it for the bulk of last year, and you had to write a new story every week. And we were all terrified, but you got the adrenaline rush. Every weekend I would sit in the corner and I would just write. And because you had to come up with something, and it was fantastic. And she's a force of nature, Claudette. And, I learned a lot. I got some basic tools about writing.
Like what? Because, David Sheward, he's written a book about George C. Scott. and he's also a couple of other published books. And certainly you can read him in his blog and that zillions of reviews over the past 30, 40 years. So what's a piece of advice from her through you, Jason Graae, about writing?
Well, I think that it's to not trust my natural instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. So anything that I write usually is adrenaline rushed. There's a deadline, waiting, and you write. And so I sit down and I write and I use that first draft of whatever I do. And so I was getting away with that for the first few weeks. Then you realize what an arduous process it is. You get that thing down. You really do want to get whatever you're feeling. You want to just get it down on paper. But then you got to sit and spend time with it. It's very arduous and meticulous. And you spend time with the words, and you really, it made me really in awe of writers and how much they labor over their work. And it got me to really read between the lines and choose my words and to spend time with every story that I wrote. And it takes a lot of time.
So
I
David, of the stories that you wrote week by week, do you have a favorite? What you don't have to read it to us, but I'm curious what the plot was or what the best story that came out of that workshop.
Well, oddly, the thing that was the biggest hit was when I wrote fiction, which I was terrified of. Fiction, most of the stuff that we were all writing was coming from memoir and personal experience and essays, which I really enjoyed. But fiction, where you just have a blank slate and you can write about anything. And so I wrote about a priest who had to step down because of a scandal that he had created in the church. And I was laughing so hard as I was reading it, I fell off the chair. I couldn't get through it. I found my writing to be so hilarious. I think I
didn't sound comical. It was a funny priest molestation story. Oh, okay.
Well, yes, it was. In my mind, it was. Yes, but that seemed to be the biggest hit, and they were kind of always saying, write fiction. That seems to be, a place for you to go. But I kind of steered away from that. So I wrote a lot of theater stories. I have so many theater stories. And what I really loved about it is during the pandemic, you don't have a chance to go tell your theater stories at parties or backstage, after shows and things. So I was I was starting to forget some of my theater stories. And so I got them written down on paper. So
because you collected like Seth Rudetsky. I mean, he just has like 3 memoirs of his, encounters and of what other actors have told him about different lives and stuff. David, before we will start the game, I promise. But David, have you ever written short stories? Have you ever written fiction?
Well, I've tried, but it is very difficult. I remember, and I read a lot, and it seems like, oh, this is easy. And I've actually tried it a few times, and it's really very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I'm back in school, back in college was the last time I think I actually wrote short stories that were fictional as opposed to essay things and comedy things. But
David, I know you as a critic first.
Yes.
So now, are you still critiquing, or now have you crossed over into writing biographies, etc.?
Well, let me see. To earn my bread and butter, I'm teaching high school. But I am still writing, and I wrote the biography of George C. Scott because it's just something I've always wanted to do. He's my favorite actor, and there was no book out about him, which I found astonishing. So I felt it was just something I wanted to do and had to do. But I found that you can't make any money out of that. So unless you're very, very lucky or you have an independent income somewhere else. So I am still mainly writing reviews where I can. Like right now, I'm doing reviews of whatever is online, whatever is streaming. And I'm doing that while teaching school.
Nice.
And what's really interesting about David's George C. Scott book is that not only did he take out a copyright on it, he took out a patent on it.
Nicely done, Dave.
Oh, Mr. Peabody.
That is also part of what we do, Jason. If I make a pun, and I tend to make them, and they're really horrible, David graces us with a line from Rocky and Bullwinkle, "Oh, Mr. Peabody."
Because Sherman would say that at the end of every episode when Mr. Peabody would make a... Surely you've heard of gymnasium, Sherman.
Oh.
Don't call me Shirley. But let's get to, I guess.
He hasn't done the spam one in a
Yeah,
while.
you haven't done well. Joyce has also mentioned you haven't done the British woman spam lady in a bit, but we'll.
Oh, well, that's just quoting Monty Python and saying
Yeah.
spam.
Spam, 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 spam.
Jason, were you ever in Spamalot? Did you ever do Spamalot anywhere?
I was not. I had several chances to, and I never could do it just because of other scheduling. I did Spamalton. I
Yeah.
did Spamalton in New
Oh,
York.
yes.
Oh, right.
I
Okay.
saw that at the Triad.
Yeah, I did it there, and then when they moved to the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater for a while, I played King George and
Oh.
came out and sang a great song and went backstage and sat on my ass. It's like a perfect gift.
That's Jorge.
the guy from A Strange Loop, I forget his name, who won the Drama Desk Award, was in it at one point.
Really? Oh, Jackson, is it something? Was
I'll
it?
think of it. But he won the Drama Desk Award for best. I think he won Best Actor.
Well,
Yeah, it was a great cast. The cast was ridiculous.
Yes.
so I'm going to assume that Leslie Hoban Blake is having technical trouble, is not joining us, or will join us another 15 minutes late. So we're gonna move forward. I mean, I'm feeling like just ditching the quiz and just talking to you guys. But
Oh,
no,
I think it's a great idea.
thank you, Jason. By the way, there's no prizes, there's no shame, there's no nothing. It's just all in fun. And
Can't wait.
it's a trivia game. It's called Today, Yesterday. Jason, I will ask you kindly to pick a number between 1 and 6.
6.
Okay. And David Sheward, could you kindly pick a number between
5. 5.
Okay.
The
Is that
actor.
the right answer? Was David the right answer?
Yeah. The actor was Larry Owens.
Larry.
Larry Owens from A Strange Loop, who was
Oh.
also in Spamalton.
Didn't work with him.
I think he was in an earlier cast.
So here's the deal. We came up. What I have, Jason, is a digital dice rolling thing. So the number came up 2, which is just a little bit closer to David Sheward. So David, you get the choice of whether to go first or second.
I'll go first.
There we go.
No, actually, you know what? I'll go second because I'll explain my strategy later, but I'll go second.
Oh my God, he's got a strategy.
Man, it's been so long since I played with only 2 contestants. I have to remind myself of the rules. But here we go.
Are there rules?
Yeah, my wife Joyce is asking, are there rules? It's yes. Each question is worth 2 points if you get the question right. If you get the question wrong, no penalty. What is that? Is that a pen?
I don't know. What am I doing with my pen and paper?
Nothing
This is-
yet. That's
Okay,
only
all
the-
right.
Later. That's the last round.
Got it. The lightning round.
The lightning round, yes.
As it were. Yeah. If you get the question wrong, no penalty, but the other contestant gets a chance to steal and get those points. And then, yeah, that's that's pretty much it with 2 people. So there you go. So are you ready? Oh, and here's normally it's all about the day. Like, since this is May 1st, all the questions would be about things that happen on May 1st in history. But oh, look! Unbelievable.
What?
Unbelievable.
What?
Oh,
Leslie's joining us?
Yes.
You're about to tell us what was different about
I will.
why is this different from all other quizzes?
Well, I'm relying on this one. Leslie, are you there? Leslie? Yeah.
Leslie, can you hear me?
Leslie.
Just a
Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Leslie. You have a wonderful nose. If maybe we could see a little bit more of you. There we go. Thanks for tuning in, Les.
The Brett Summers of the Today Yesterday quiz.
I'll take that, David. I'll take that. I recognize this gentleman.
Yes. Who is?
How are you, Jason?
Oh my God. Hi, Leslie. You win the prize.
Yes. That
Nice
is
seeing you.
Hoban Blake, who is our well, yeah, she is a critic too. She has been a critic and a director for many years. You can see her now with Charlie Gross on their bi-weekly blog, or it's not a blog, it's a video cast on YouTube. It's called Critics Circle, and they talk to theater people and they review shows, and they've been reviewing Zoom shows. Welcome, Leslie. Thanks for joining us. How you doing? I can't hear you, Les.
Unmute.
Do I have her muted? You're. Hold on. Oh, the
Oh, yes, you're muted. You're muted. I can see you're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Can the host unmute?
I'm,
There you are.
all I can do is, oh, there she goes. Hello.
This
welcome.
thing screwed me up. Sorry about that, guys. I was
Yeah,
trying to be, like 21st century. It doesn't work.
Just like they do on MSNBC.
Yes, that's what I was trying for. I was going for MSNBC. You caught the vibe.
So, Leslie, you are automatically going third in the game because you were
Oh,
late.
thanks a lot.
Well, that's what you get for being late
Punishment for being late, right? Okay, I got
and
it.
not having the power broker on your bookshelf.
Yes. Who's your power broker?
That's it. Every time someone is interviewed on MSNBC, they have the power broker on their bookshelf.
I got a hat. That's what I got.
So, Leslie, you're feeling well. You had a good week. Everything's good.
Yes, thank you for asking. Yes, thank you,
Good.
Dave.
Good. All right, let's start the game. All right,
You
here's
look great. You look great.
Aw.
Thank you. I'll take it from everybody. It's fine.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on, a little more.
Jason looks great too. You look absolutely. I mean, I knew
Jason looks
25 30
fantastic.
years ago, and you look absolutely
Exactly. The
Yeah.
hair color, Jason. Other than that, the same face.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I had to let it go natural.
I fought against it myself. I tried, and it just looked.
I did too.
like-
I did too. I got Wicked. I was out on tour with Wicked for a year and a half. And when they offered me the job, they said, well, we want to offer him the job, but he's got to stop dyeing his hair, which,
Oh.
by the way, I auditioned on a video and they could tell from the video that I was dyeing my hair. So I thought time has come.
Well, I think it looks terrific, and
It does. It looks really great.
Thanks, you guys.
so here's the deal. I was just about to say, Leslie, that there's one little new wrinkle just for this week that's a little bit different about the questions in our.
They're all about Jason.
Yeah.
I wish.
I ask you two quiz questions like, what Alan Sherman musical was he in?
Hello, mother.
That's
Hello,
funny.
father.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Were you-
I don't know.
Alan Sherman
I
didn't
made
like
that.
that.
I don't know.
Oh, the Sherman
When
brothers.
in doubt.
The Sherman
That's the
brothers.
go-to
Sherman
answer. When in doubt, it's Chitty Chitty Bang
Oh, let me
Bang.
down a second. Okay.
Every
But
now
these
and
are
then
more
it's right.
regular questions that all have to do with May because it's May Day. It's May 1st.
Oh, okay.
So little
May
bit
Day.
little different than usual. These are just have to do with May. We good
All
at that? Okay. Now
All
the first question will go to our very special friend of the neighborhood, our new guest here, or third-time guest, Jason Graae. Are you ready, Jason?
Yes.
Born in Melbourne, Australia, this actress and one-time girlfriend of Max Sennett had some success playing a vamp in silent films, but is best known for playing shrews and floozies in more than a dozen Laurel and Hardy films. Name that May.
Mabel Norman. I don't think she's Australian. I thought it was a trick question.
No, they're generally not trick questions. They're real questions. Some are multiple choice. Some are, well, but no, it's not a trick question. No, go, no, come on, no fair.
Depends on how you define trick. Is the way that goes.
Touche. Gosh, I don't even know a silent screen actress named May. Dame May Edna.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Well, that is Australian, but I'm afraid you're going down under with that joke or with that guess. It was not Dame Edna, so I'm gonna roll the die again. Oh, Leslie, I need you to pick a number between 1 and 6, please. But it can't be 6 and it can't be 5.
Do we find out the answer?
Well, now it goes to we get to steal. We get to steal.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So what did you say? 2?
Said 2.
2. Okay.
I said it and I showed it just to be on the safe side.
And by the way, Dr. Sue gets 3 points. So no, it's Jason doesn't know what that has to do with anything. So now I'm going to roll the die again to see which of our 2 contestants gets to steal. It came up a 3, which is closer to Leslie. So Leslie, I'm going to read the question again, and you're going to have a chance to possibly steal.
But I thought Jason had it when he said Mabel Norman, so I'm in trouble.
Maybe that's well,
Not correct.
That's why I went
Well,
like
his
this. I
guess
wasn't being
was Dame
facetious.
Edna.
I thought you had it, so
Well,
Okay, go ahead, read
what's
it
a
again.
May?
I know what the question is. I don't know what the answer is. But read
Actress,
it
the
again.
one-time girlfriend of Max Sennett, ended up playing floozies in Laurel and Hardy films, and Shrewish Wives.
Okay, the only other Mays I know are Mae Marsh and I'm sorry, David, I'm giving you answers in case. Mae Marsh and May, the one who got her face in a grapefruit from Jimmy Cagney. I can't remember what her last name was. Mae Mae Marsh. No, I'll go with Mae Marsh. I have no idea.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's my only answer for the moment.
Well, I'm afraid you've swamped us with that one. That is not the correct answer. It was not
All right.
Mae Marsh. David Sheward, you can pick up 2 points if you know the answer to this question. Who is that silent, that actress, one-time girlfriend of Max Sennett, and also in Laurel and Hardy films?
You know, if it were Mabel Normand, we would have heard "Time Heals Everything" with an Australian accent. Time heals everything. Let me see. All right. So I was going to say Mae Marsh too, because that's the only actress of that general.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
It's not Mae West. So I'm going to say Mae Clark.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Well, David Sheward, you go buy yourself a Clark bar. That is not the correct answer, I'm afraid. I've stumped the panel. The answer, I thought she was a little more well-known than this, but Mae Bush was her name.
Bush.
Okay, yes, I had heard of her, but she was Charles Bush's distant relation from Australia.
Down under.
Bush down under.
All right, so nobody
we're not gonna go there.
Well, no. You pull that on the
None of us are gonna go there, whatever.
As Cholula Bank has said, it's down under, darling, but nobody gives a damn.
Anyway, we're on to our second question here.
By the way, which May got the grapefruit in the face?
I think that was Mae Marsh, I think.
Was it Mae Marsh? I don't know. I'll look it up later. Now I'm going to go crazy not remembering that. Okay.
Well,
not any of these Mays except for Mabel Normand. I don't really know any of these Mays that you brought up. So I'm amazed that you guys have such a
Maze.
You're amazed? Thank you.
Yeah.
No, anything about Maze is a corny joke.
Jefferson, yes. Okay.
All right, here we go. Now, this is kind of interesting. I'm so glad that you brought this up, Leslie. The next question goes to David Sheward directly first. Okay. Speaking of silent film stars, Mae Marsh had a prolific acting career in the early years of cinema, including major roles in 2 D.W. Griffith epics. Okay. The first, a huge hit in 1915. The follow-up, a smaller hit in 1916. Name them both for 1 point apiece.
Well, the only mega things that I can think of that D.W. Griffith directed would be A Birth of a Nation, followed by Intolerance. So I'll go with Birth of a Nation, which is now very politically incorrect, and since it said slavery was okay, and Intolerance.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That was a tolerable answer indeed, David Sheward. You are correct on both counts.
Nicely done, David.
Yeah, 2 points for David Sheward. A couple of interesting things that back when I was going to film school, and they showed both films, and the common misconception was that Intolerance was a huge flop after Birth of a Nation. It was not. It just didn't make as much money as Nation. But the interesting thing is that Mae Marsh in Birth of a Nation, she plays a character, I swear to God, who jumps to her death rather than be raped by a renegade Negro. Right. That's a role you're not going to get much anymore.
Which was actually a white guy in blackface.
Yeah.
Right. A renegade white guy in blackface.
Yeah.
Well, moving onward, our next question goes directly to Leslie Hoban Blake, because now, as usual, David Sheward is ahead in the game, 2 points to nothing. But you can tie the game, Leslie, if you get this question about May right. You probably know that Brian May is the lead guitarist for the rock band Queen, but he's also had something of a literary career. Which of these is not a book written or co-written by Brian May? This is a multiple choice. Is it A, Queen in 3D, B, Queen in 4D, C, Brian May's Red Special, D, A Survey of Radial Velocities in the Zodiacal Dust Cloud?
Could I have those one more time and be sure to read number 3 clearly because I didn't get it the
Oh,
first.
of course. So, lead guitarist of the rock band Queen, Brian May, has also written some books. Among them are 3 of these, but one is not. Is the outlier, the non-real book, A, Queen in 3D, B, Queen in 4D, C, Brian May's Red Special, D, A Survey of Radial Velocities in the Zodiacal Dust Cloud?
The logical conclusion would be the last one, since it's the only one you would think he didn't write. I'm going to think it's either between 3D or 4D on Queen. I don't know that his scope is that big. He didn't write one about Queen and CinemaScope, so that doesn't work. Brian May's Red Special.
Is that your final answer?
I'm going to go get his Zodiac book.
Well, Leslie Hoban Blake, you should be seeing red because that is an incorrect answer. That is a book that he wrote. So we're going to see if either Jason or David Sheward can steal. I'm going to roll the die.
Oh, wait, which one did you say?
Leslie incorrectly chose Brian May's Red Special. That was C.
Okay.
So
that
that is an actual book by Brian May. I'm going to roll the die. And it came up the number 3 again. So who's closest? David Sheward.
Okay.
You are closer to number 3.
All right. So my choices are Queen in 3D, Queen in 4D, or that long one about the galaxy and dust.
Right.
All right. Now, I agree with Leslie. That one probably he did write. So I'm going to say Queen in 4D.
Is that your
Yes.
final answer?
Yes.
You are the champion, my friend. Yes, indeed. Queen in 4D is not an actual book. Queen in 3D is. Brian May's Red Special it was a book about his guitar that he wrote. And also Brian May, since the whole Queen years, he's become a serious doctoral physicist. And he's written a bunch of books about science, including A Survey of Radial Velocities in the Zodiacal Dust Cloud.
Fascinating.
I can't get past that. I'm sorry.
I had a feeling it's too weird. It's too weird not
Right.
to. He also wrote a book called Crinoline, Fashion's Most Magnificent Disaster.
No?
And a book, he's gotten really into stereophotography, so he wrote a book called The Village Lost and Found of stereophotographers.
He might actually be an interesting person to talk to. Drummers usually aren't.
Yeah, he'd be very brain-wise. He's up there. So
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
we know
movie didn't
brain-wise.
tell us about him, so there you are.
brain-wise David Sheward, he's up there now. He's got 4 points.
Oh,
All right.
David, you are the man. You know about May Bush and Brian May. I'm so
David knows about everything.
amazed.
But can you two, also Jason and Leslie, can you catch up? Yes, you may, because we have some more questions for you.
You don't have a bottle of mayonnaise to use for the joke right now? Come on, Dave, you're not
Bring out
there.
the
Come on.
helmets.
I don't relish the answer to that. So here we go. We go back to Jason for the next question. So Jason, you get to answer this one directly. One more actress. Here we go. This Swedish-born actress started her film career in Italy, moved to the U.S. in the 1950s, where she was featured in such films as The Young Lions and a flop remake of The Blue Angel. But then she married Sammy Davis Jr. and retired. Name her.
Oh, don't I get like multiple choice?
Oh, sorry, no multis on this.
What kind of cockamamie game is this?
Yeah, I hear that every week.
What kind of May me game.
Or speaking of Jerry Herman, cockamame.
Name e game.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now I feel like if this was multiple choice, I might have heard of this gal. The Blue Angel. No, that's the Blue Gardenia. Blue Angel was that with Marlene Dietrich?
Well, I'll read the question again. Swedish-born actress, started her film career in Italy, moved to America in the 50s, where she was featured in such films as The Young Lions and a flop remake of The Blue Angel. But then she married Sammy Davis Jr. and retired. And I will even provide a hint on this one. She is Swedish, not English, despite her name.
That's not a great clue, but thanks.
You're welcome.
It is actually.
Oh, it is?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not saying anything.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going to go with Ingrid May Bergman.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, because that's the only Swedish actress I can think of right now.
Please have him come back whether he gets the right answers or not. Please.
Well, Jason, I'm afraid you've drawn a Casa Blank on.
Oh, that was so.
What? I was so sure.
You are a regular. You are a regular Joey Bishop. You know, you just something like that.
I guess that's better than being an irregular Joey Bishop, I imagine. But let's. We rolled the die, and it came up number 1, which is closer to Leslie.
Oh, shoot.
So Leslie Hoban Blake, who seems to know the answer to this one.
Well, first of all, it's not May, it's Mai. Her name was Mai Britt. And it caused an international scandal because she was white and he was black. And it was, I don't know, the 50s? Was it the 50s or the 60s?
I think it was. Was it the 60s?
Yeah, because
Whatever, it caused an international scandal. It almost ruined his career. They made him divorce her. Because her career didn't matter, but his career mattered. They made him divorce her.
Wow.
This is in Wikipedia. I mean, not that I trust Wikipedia on everything, but check out this story. President Kennedy asked.
Wait, I got 2 points, right? Wait, I want my 2
I'm sorry,
points.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
thank
yes.
you. All right, now go ahead. Go ahead.
And do we get the hint there? It was Brit. She wasn't.
Hey, Brit.
That's why I said it was a great hint.
Thank
If you
you.
didn't know it.
Got it.
Go ahead. So what did it say about Kennedy?
President Kennedy asked them not to get married before his inauguration,
No.
just because, even though at his inauguration Harry Belafonte sang, and he was married to a white woman, so it's so completely weird and hypocritical.
Not only white but Jewish.
Wait, who?
Belafonte's.
Harry Belafonte was married to not only a white woman, a Jewish white woman.
Good for him. There you go.
So
Amazing.
all bases.
And I
But
think
actually, Sam would have been married also. Yeah.
Davis's wife later, her name was Altaviz or something. and
Yeah.
Yes.
She used to appear on game
Yes.
shows all the time.
She was a dancer, very tall, thin.
And with us today are Charles Nelson Riley and Mrs. Sammy Davis Jr.
Right.
on the
She
$20,000.
doesn't have a name of her own because she's Mrs. Sammy Davis
On-
Jr.
on
But she's the one we saw more of, right?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
thinking of. Go ahead. I think you're thinking of Harry Belafonte's second wife, whom he married after Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. But his first wife was at the time of Kennedy was a white Jewish
Davis's
woman.
wife appeared on a lot of game shows. which
Yes,
was-
I remember.
Right, Right. But I was
But
talking
that
about
was still-
Belafonte. Sorry.
Kennedy rescinded the invitation for Sammy to sing at the inauguration because
No
he
doubt.
married. Yeah. Amazing.
Well,
I can't.
I
I
wasn't
can
kidding when I
understand.
said that.
Yeah.
Kenny was.
I wasn't kidding when I said that. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
A big deal.
Well, this is a big deal. Leslie, you're on the board. We now have a
Yeah,
4-2
thanks.
game. And the next question, though, goes directly to David Sheward. So he
Okay.
can pile on the points if he gets this correct. Okay.
Wait, what's the
One more-
order, please? Excuse me, who
it's
goes
Jason,
where?
me, and then you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Jason.
David
Dave,
explain why he wanted to.
Just, I wasn't here when it was settled. I just knew I was last. I was just
oh,
checking.
actually, David, that's right. You were going to explain why.
Oh, my
you chose-
strategy. My
Yeah.
strategy was that the questions always go in chronological order. So the first question is something like from the 12th century. And
You
I
should,
would
but
always
not
pick
this
to go-
week. Yeah.
I would always pick to go first. And so I thought, oh, I'll get a later question, which is closer to contemporary times. It'll be easier. But of course, you screwed me up by saying it has nothing to do with that.
Yes.
But it still
You
paid off.
can't outthink the thinker. You just
Yeah.
can't do it, you know?
That's right. But amazingly enough, David Sheward, who loves cartoons, gets a cartoon just by sheer chance. He gets a cartoon question. Here we go. One more actress. This one quite animated. She was the voice of Betty Boop and then of Olive Oyl in dozens of Max Fleischer cartoons. Name her.
Mae Questel.
Whoa.
Is that your final answer?
And she also played Mrs. Straykosh in Funny Girl.
Right.
Oh, wow. And
Wasn't
Jason
she
got.
in a Woody Allen movie as well?
Yeah, she Oedipus Rex. She was the mother.
That's what I thought.
Oh,
Wow.
well, that.
We all know Mae Questel.
Everybody loves Mae Questel.
And the
She
voice
was
of
a
Olive
very
Oyl.
innocent,
You say
pretty-
you said Olive Oyl.
Such a little girl.
She did Olive Oyl.
You got that question right,
Yes.
David Sheward. Well done. Which means you are now leading in the game 6-2. It's like the Bobby Fischer of Today Yesterday quiz.
I think she also did that song in Zelig. Everybody Go Chameleon.
That was her singing? Oh, cool.
I think so.
That's beyond my knowledge. I don't know that.
I think so. Yeah.
Zelig. Jeez.
That was a good movie. Yeah. I mean, I know we're not allowed to say Woody Allen was a genius, but
He made some
You're allowed to say
good
that.
movies.
Yeah.
He made some good movies. That
Yeah,
man.
you're allowed to say that. I have no problem with it.
yeah. No, I was trying to add last week. Our guest in the neighborhood, Rabbi Saul, was talking to Louise Lasser, and just trying to just get some information. Like, nope. No.
Well, if I were her, I wouldn't. Well,
yeah.
I
But
wouldn't say anything.
she used to. She did bad. You know, I mean, she didn't say anything terrible about him because she had nothing terrible to say. But you know, it was still really nice to hear more about that. But,
Get some dirt.
yeah. Anywho, or some clean. You know, yeah. She had a whole different thing. He was a friend of hers for years after they.
After they divorced, yeah.
Yeah. Anywho,
I don't want any more dirt on Woody Allen. I've seen now enough dirt on Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Well, I'm reading it. You know,
I have. That's not the new book though. That's the book about him. I read his new book, apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
yeah. Did he defend himself fully?
Yes, he did.
Oh,
He did.
every other page,
He defended himself.
basically.
Yes.
Every other page, and talked about how much he loved her. Did you ever meet them, David? I was at one of the HBO previews of something, and they were both there.
Did I ever? Who?
Sun Yi
Oh, no.
and
No, I never did.
and they were separated. So I walked over to talk to Sun Yi because everybody was around Woody and nobody was around Sun Yi. And he came over and thanked me for talking to her.
Oh.
Literally. I mean,
No, I never,
know.
I never encountered. I
Yeah,
did encounter
yeah.
him once at the Tony nominees when Bullets Over Broadway was nominated, and he was
Mhm.
very distant, very aloof. He didn't speak to anybody. He
I
just,
was so surprised that I figured he was coming over for her, and he stopped and said,
Oh.
it was very amazing.
Oh.
I auditioned for him once when I was back in the acting days.
oh, really?
No, do you know what a Woody Allen audition was? Jason, did you ever do a Woody Allen audition?
I did not.
He did not, when you say he was aloof, it was like in a club, some club in the daytime. So he was sitting on a banquette. I don't remember what the club was, but it was somewhere in the Broadway area. Sitting on a club, on a banquette, in the dark, like, with the shadows, the light was all out this way. And he's got a pile of pictures. And when you came in, you would stand far enough away that you could not see him, but he could see you, and you were in the light. And he would hold up your picture in front of him and look at the picture while you were standing there.
Hmm.
And he would look at the picture and he'd look at you and he'd look at the picture and he'd look at you and he'd put it down. And then they tell you on the way out, no, thank you.
Huh.
And I wasn't odd enough. He was looking, this was for extra background stuff. He was looking for odd, the kind of people he put in the odd. And I wasn't odd enough, obviously. When I was younger, maybe now I could qualify, but I wasn't odd enough then.
So you didn't read, you didn't do anything, you just stood there.
No, you just stood there. It was the, and it made you feel about that big, Jason, if you can imagine, right? I mean, what the fuck, I mean,
Well,
one didn't say it at
I
the
know.
time.
someone I know did get an extra role in Radio Days, and it was because he was very, very large. He was obese, practically.
Helen Hunt used to get work from him all the time.
Oh,
I
because
mean,
she Helen Hunt had that face.
he liked odd-looking people. I mean, he didn't cast them in the lead roles. Obviously, his lead people were always beautiful people,
Right.
but he wanted odd-looking people for the
Was it
around.
casting? Shirley Rich, wasn't she his casting
I
director?
think it was. I
Julia
don't remember. You know,
Taylor?
I'll be honest. It probably was. Later on for David, I wrote the backstage column. I would have known who the extra casting person was. It might have been Shirley Rich. I
Julia
don't remember.
Taylor was
Julia
Oh, right,
Taylor.
right, yeah.
Julia Taylor was his casting
Julia
director.
I did
That's
not
right.
remember.
Wow.
Right, right.
Memories. See, that's the point of this quiz. It's not just about the questions. It's about things sparking, stories told, and feel free, Jason.
I had forgotten. Until this minute though, I'd literally forgotten that I ever did that, but I remembered now.
Well, that reminds me, I auditioned for a few years ago for Larry David for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh.
And they give you like a card like this to tell you what your character is and what the situation is. And then you just go in and you just improv. And I was with
Right.
Larry, and it was the whole cast sitting behind a table. And we went for 10 minutes. I mean, it was thrilling. And we just, I just said, this is what you have to accomplish in the scene, and this is who this character is. And it was really fun to do it with him. And then I didn't get it. But, they were laughing. I walked out like walking on air thinking, this is it. I got Curb Your Enthusiasm. But
and let me ask you, did you end up seeing the episode later, or did you don't want to know? You don't want to know who they cast and how they did? And
yeah, because I'm obsessed with that show. And so I did see the episode, and it was a recurring, and Richard Kind ended up doing it.
Oh, well, if that's what he was looking for, Jason, there you go.
Exactly. Apples and
But
oranges.
it's interesting because what you said about walking out of the audition, you're supposed to walk out feeling that way. I did good. Whether you get it or you don't get it, I did good, right? So you felt that way.
Yeah.
That was what everybody psyched you up to believe that shit, that if you didn't get it, it was okay. So, as long as you felt good about it.
In a full circle kind of a story, but at the end, we were like fighting for most of the time because he played like his bitter cousin who, I don't know, and Richard Kind was great, but we were really like fighting through the whole scene. And at the end of it, I was on such a high. This seems to be a through line in my life that I threw my arms around him and I hugged him, which you don't do with Larry David. And he actually recoiled.
Well, that's what did it. You would have had the part, but for the hug, Jason.
But for the hug, I think that was it. Richard Kind just went, see ya.
Wow.
Like that, right?
Cool stuff.
I'm a hugger.
Anyway, we are telling stories and also doing a game here with Jason Graae, with David Sheward, with Leslie Hoban Blake. Let me remind everybody that we are, well, first of all, it's Dave's Gone By is the program. It's about 20 after 11 Eastern Time. I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and I'm the host and producer of this thing. We're in the middle of the game where David Sheward is leading 6 points to 2, but now Leslie has a chance to... Sorlin, you can't be a
The only question I knew was Mae Questel. That was the only thing I knew.
Jason, it's okay. We get to gang up on David at this point. It's okay. we can tag team if they'll let us. Go ahead.
All right, Leslie Hoban Blake. Remember that we're doing questions about the merry month of May. Here we go. Fill in the rock lyric.
Oh boy.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for whom?
Oh, that's an easy one.
One more time. No, it's not. One more time.
Choice.
Fill in the rock. That's my wife Joyce saying, fill in the rock lyric. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for whom? This is Leslie's question.
Sing it.
If I sing it, no.
No, you think if I see it, I don't think it's going to make any difference. It vaguely is. It's doing something, but it's not coming through. Excuse me.
Think of the topic.
Oh, you're humming it in your head. Thank you, David. That's
I'm
really helpful.
shaking my head.
Just think of the topic, Leslie. Think of the
I'm also thinking at the time.
I know what the topic is. The word May is in there somehow, but I can't. It's only if there's a bustle in your hedgerow.
You're probably wearing a bra, but
It's time to mow the lawn. That's what.
Yeah.
I hate like hell to go down on this one.
There's a
No
bus
pun
rolling.
That's what she said.
Leslie, it's a family show.
I know.
We want to do the music quiz, remember?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
You know, when you
Leslie, I'm counting on you for this because I really don't want to answer it. So please get this right.
Oh, Jason, darling, if I could, I would. Thank you.
I'm
Oh,
just-
the answer is a
tick,
watch?
tick, tick.
The answer is a watch. Okay. Thank you for the clue.
TikTok, Miss Davenport.
Yes. There's
There's a line of shrubs in your estate.
all I can think of is the Sultans of Swing. That's the only thing that's going through my mind right now. And that's because I was listening to it recently.
Oh.
And so that's the only music that I can hear. I'm really sorry. I have no idea, Jason. It's going to be on your. Oh, what do we got? A dog, a horse, a dog? What is that?
Mastodon.
I was just filling up
Oh,
the
it's a
time because
mastodon. Oh, goodness.
It's a
Okay.
mastodon.
the audience is getting bored. So, you know.
Oh,
Thank
thank you. I'm sorry, audience, for boring you so much.
Wow.
If this were not like when you put this up on YouTube, just cut my part, okay? Leave it out.
Is this why we
Look, you
bring
want to take a Oh man.
Just make something up. Make something
I
up.
have my Maybear, but it doesn't help. I know the word May is in the title, but I have no idea.
So you want to say Maybear, maybe? Like May
Sure,
no,
that's
Mayberry. Yeah, okay. So
Ken Berry.
May. It's just a maybe. B-E-E. Maybe. I don't
oh,
That's a good one.
what's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. Well, what happened is Leslie got the answer wrong, so that is not the correct answer. Let's see who can steal this question. As I roll the die, what is that die going to come out as?
Oh, I thought it was just automatically.
Yeah.
Come on, David. you
Whoever
can do
gets the, yeah.
Oh boy, it came up number one, which is again a little closer to David Sheward. So David
Well,
Sheward
Give me the lyrics.
can steal
He's
this question.
Lyrics
just happy
again.
not to have to answer it and look stupid like me.
Well, give me the lyrics again.
I'll read the lyrics one more time. Fill in the lyric.
Oh, you didn't know. I thought you knew. Oh,
Go ahead.
all right.
Go ahead.
These are theater people. They're not rock people. If there's, well, maybe Jason is. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for
Your Mayrow.
Whoa.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, your Mayrow.
Well, row, row, row your boat, David Sheward. You've rowed it out way offshore. That is not the correct answer at all. So, Jason, do you know your rock? Do you know the answer to that question?
'Twas Brillig and the Slithy Toad. Okay, just say it one more time, the lyric.
Sure. If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for whom?
Wow.
Well, your maypole.
Yes, we'll talk about that later, but what is your answer? Here we go. Is that your final?
That's my final answer, and I'm kind of hoping for it.
Well, you know, I took a poll and you lost. So, no, that is not the correct answer, I'm afraid. Oh, my God.
What?
Snake Queen. You know, I grew up with
David, just one thing. It's a British group, right?
Led Zeppelin.
Yes, it is.
Because hedgerow is a British phrase. That's as far as I got in my head. And
It's one of the
nothing
most
else.
famous. It's a long song, and I'm sick to death of it after years of it being on radio for years and years and years. If there's
We're all going to go, oh, when you say it. We're
Go
all
ahead,
going to
go ahead.
groan
Yeah.
when you say it. Go ahead.
Sing it.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the.
May
Ma-
Queen.
The May-
Queen of May.
Nobody remembers "Stairway to Heaven" by Led
Oh.
Zeppelin?
Yes, I do, but I couldn't come up
Wait
with
a minute.
it.
Let me think about it.
Sorry,
Wow.
I'm too young. I'm too young.
And she's climbing the stairway to heaven.
She's buying a stairway. It was on the radio. Like I had to turn it
I
off.
know that song. I just don't know that part.
Yeah, that's sort of the middle verse in there. This is, or
I just know the
bridge.
part.
Because they don't
I
say-
hate the song already, and I don't even know.
I know the part about the last part where and she's
Yeah.
buying a stairway.
Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, I mean the interesting
Jason,
is
were you into rock as a young guy, or did you always go straight for the Broadway tunes?
I was a classical nerd because I was an oboe player. So I was
Oh.
very much into classical music.
Oh,
So, and I did not know any rock. I was really dumb about it. I mean, I liked the basics. I loved Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Peter Frampton.
I just remembered that I did see Jason sing. I think it was Jason, and it was at Gracie Mansion. It was some celebration for something, and Giuliani was the mayor,
Yes, he
and
was.
Isabel Stevenson was there, and it was some celebration, theater
It was a
week.
Tony Awards party.
Yeah, yes, so something like that. And you sang a song about reviews, which was from a Cy Coleman show, or and you
With
listed.
Smashing New York Times.
Yes, that's it. Which was from.
It's Charles Strauss.
From a Broadway musical.
A Broadway musical.
Yes.
Yes.
And you fit in backstage, which is where I worked at the time.
Oh yes.
Yes,
That's
and
right.
I was wondering where that was going, how that related to rock
The
music.
the song is about getting good reviews.
Oh,
We trade our lives for just some good reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it lists all the newspapers, and it's and it listed like everything you could possibly think of, and then backstage like the very, very last one.
Yeah, I was listing all the things, and I think that it was cut from Applause.
Oh, maybe.
I think it was an Applause, and then they cut it and put it in Broadway musicals. Or
That would make a lot of sense. I
Yeah,
did the show. It would make a lot of sense where that would fit,
And look,
right?
and look where Rudy Giuliani is today.
Right. Oh,
I
let's
had his
hope.
picture. I had his picture up here in my office, and then I took it down.
I'm
Was it when he
hoping
was
that there will
dressed
be
as a woman
bars in
Saturday
front of
Night
his
Live, or-
face very shortly. Sorry.
anyway.
Leslie, you were
What
in
did you say,
Applause.
Dave? I talked over you. I'm sorry. What did
Oh,
you
fine.
say?
Leslie, you were in Applause.
On the road, a bus and truck.
No
I
kidding.
know. I know.
As Margot, or who are you? Who are you?
Yes, I played Margot. Who else would I play? I used to talk like this, darling. Who else would I play?
Who was Margot? Was she?
Well,
Was it?
the Penny Franklin
I
one.
was never, believe me, I was never an Eve, ever.
Who was the?
I was never Juliet. I was always tall and,
Who
deep
was the
voice.
star, Leslie?
Who was the star?
Excuse me, I was.
No, I mean,
Leslie
who were you
was-
understudying?
No, I was in a bus and truck tour. I wasn't understudying.
Oh,
I was on the road.
You were actually.
No, I was
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the road.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I didn't know what you meant when you said who was the star, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Are you an equity, Leslie? Are you an equity
Yes.
actress?
I held on to my card all these years. I haven't acted since 1985, but it was so fucking hard to get back then that I kept it.
Well, do you get like health benefits now, or do you have any kind of?
No, I don't have any money I have no money in the,
Oh.
You have to earn a certain amount per year. in
every
order to
year. It's like SAG health, although SAG health is really good for people.
Well, I'm starting to.
So I
say,
became a teacher. I'm fine. I have UFT health. I'm fine.
You're doing well. Your apartment looks
I'm
really
doing
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, did anybody offer you and Dee Hody to do Sideshow?
Oh, bless your heart. No, but what a
You have
lovely
such a
idea.
Dee Hody vibe going on.
Well, thank you.
I
As
see.
I age from one to another to another.
And Leslie has always been a hoggy. That's for sure.
Oh.
When I was a kid, Applause.
More.
You were a kid. What?
I was going to say, when I was a kid, I was taken to see Applause at the Valley Forge Music Fair
Oh, wow.
with Ava Gabor.
Oh, wow.
If you can picture that.
No, I can't.
Ava Gabor was supposed to play Margot, and she broke her ankle, so we saw her understudy.
Oh, who
What?
was
I
Lauren Bacall? No.
Jaja.
The
Yeah,
big point of the story would be who was the understudy.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. And then the following week, Frank Gorshin was doing Promises.
Hmm.
I was
Broke
gonna
his
say,
ankle.
Are you
did he
kidding?
really?
Frank Gorshin was doing Promises. He broke his ankle.
It's the aisles going down there. They're lethal.
Yeah.
I played Valley Forge. Yeah, it's really
Oh,
cool.
wow.
It's a shopping mall now.
Yeah.
It's as well as it should be. I
And-
took Frank Gorshin to lunch at the Carlisle, but for him it was breakfast. It was 1:00 in the afternoon.
But Gorshin went on with a broken ankle. He went on and did the show.
Well, you know what? Frank Gorshin always makes a good impression. But I.
I get it.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Ah,
Jason, nobody can come up with them faster than David.
Yes.
David Lefkowitz is able to get to those. There's a part of his brain that doesn't connect
Well,
to anything else. But, like,
well,
there's a thing in there that
As Betty Rubble said, you tossed it, but I don't want. I got it, but I don't want it.
Now I'm lost. Okay, but speaking of winners so far, David Sheward is winning the game with 6 points to 2, but we still have more questions. We still have more fun as we hit our third round of Today, Yesterday here on Dave's Gone By. Jason, here's a chance for you to get 2 points, and you might know this.
wait. Did I miss my question?
Nobody got. Yeah, you got the.
You had the wrong question. You had the.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I talked so much I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was you.
That was
Leslie,
me.
don't be ungrateful.
Don't be a doctor too.
Here we go. As theater people, all of you, but you certainly, Jason, might know. Go figure that this went to Jason. You all might know that Oscar Hammerstein and Jerome Kern's last Broadway collaboration was 1939's Very Warm for May, which got pretty.
I was hoping that was the answer because I knew it.
That wasn't no. Which got a pretty lukewarm response from audiences. Get warm for May. Lukewarm. Okay, musical numbers in the show include All the Things You Are and all of the following New York-themed numbers except one, which is not in the show. Is it A, Chelsea Ballet Ordinaire, B, The Deer and the Park Avenue Lady, C, High Up in Harlem, or D, this is a trick question, all 3 songs are in the show?
I'm going to say all 3 songs are in the show.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
Well, you're warm, but you're not hot on that question, Jason Graham. I'm afraid that is not the correct answer. It wasn't a trick
I feel
question.
strongly about it.
You were right there, and I was pulling for you. I was, but now we get to roll the die, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this die roll, which is there. It goes, and we
I
come.
saw this at Equity Library Theater. Remember that theater?
Yeah.
That's right. I made my debut there in Godspell in 1980. But I saw Very Warm for May, right? I think that ran like within a year after that.
Oh.
And the score wasn't very memorable, except for All the Things You Are.
Right.
And I played Lady Capulet there in 1979 or something like that. We should get Equity Library Theater going again. I've called Equity several times about doing that, and nobody has any interest.
Really?
No, none.
Great place. I got an agent from there. I did Godspell with Scott Bakula played Jesus. He was so hot.
Wow.
We were all like lusting after Jesus, which isn't really appropriate. And Liz Calloway was in it. And we had it was a great cast of people, but it was great.
Fantastic.
I mean, you were lusting after, you didn't know how to love him. But that's the wrong show, right guy.
That's the wrong show.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
By the way, I just rolled a 5. So guess who gets to answer this question? David Sheward, you get to try and steal this question as theater people
All right, so one of these is not in the show.
One of these is not in Very Warm for May from 1939.
So
is the one that is not A, Chelsea Ballet Ordinaire, B, The Deer and the Park Avenue Lady, or C, High Up in Harlem?
Well, knowing you, the real song is probably The Moose in the Park Avenue Lady. Let's see. The Deer, Chelsea Ballet Ordinaire, the Deer in the Park Avenue Lady, High Up in Harlem. I'm gonna say, well, I don't know. High Up in Harlem. Well, it could be, but it could be. It's possible. This is 1939.
Correct.
Well, they could have had a little specialty number because they didn't have black and white people dancing together until Finian's Rainbow.
Finian's
Rainbow, right. All right, I'll say High Up in Harlem. Just a guess.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid I'm putting a black mark next to your name, David Sheward. That is not the correct answer. That was
Okay.
the song in the show. So Leslie Hoban Blake, you have a 50.
Yeah, I have a 50-50 chance on this, right?
Yes, you do.
Either Chelsea or the deer. Okay.
Right.
Don't screw it up.
Yeah. Everything
Oh, thanks.
counts.
That's
Just
the
remember-
kind of thing my father would say to get me to do well. Don't
Just
screw it up.
remember,
Thank you.
everything depends on this.
Yes, right. That's the other one. That was my mother. The two of them together. Thank you. I've had a flashback. I'll never get it right now. It's all your fault. I'll be in therapy for years. Wait a second.
The decline and fall of Western civilization
It's on this question right
depends on this
on this
question.
question.
According to
And
Cole.
that would be my fault too. It's all
Go
my
with
fault.
D. Go with D. All of the above.
That's funny.
I think somebody already did that already, I think. All right, I'm gonna say, just because it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and don't anybody say anything.
I'm sorry.
I'm
your
gonna
time
say
is
what
up.
David said. It's the deer and the Park Avenue lady.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's my only answer.
Oh dear, that is not the correct.
Oh my God.
It's
Here's the deal. There was a song in the show called Ballet Peculier, which was a dance number. There was no Chelsea. There's no Chelsea Ballet Ordinaire. There was actually a song in there, not only High Up in Harlem, but Harlem Boogie Woogie. So I don't know if one replaced the other, or if they had two different Harlem title songs in Very Warm for May.
It was very hard to get the blackface off, so they put two numbers in, and then they had an intermission.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And what about and so there was a song called The Deer and the Park Avenue Lady.
That is correct. Yes, there was in
I'll have to sing that.
D-E-E-R or D-E-A-R?
Deer, like
Antler.
no, that's more like deer. There you go.
Well, it's
Anywho,
not their greatest hits.
Yeah.
well, maybe it's very good. You never
I
know.
wonder sometimes, Jason, why I come back every week. One week I won, but I don't think David was there the week that I won.
You actually come back every week?
Yeah. It's a reason
I
to
gotta
get.
look
I
at
know,
better
Jason. I know.
decisions.
Well, now I'm not going to. Thank you. Okay, that takes care of that. No more. I'm done.
We can do it. We'll do our own game show with all answers that we know.
Yes. Well, we'll start with the answers, and then we'll work backward and do the questions.
On Jeopardy. All right.
Yes, I come back every week and do this. I don't know why, but
Right.
anyway, because I find this fun. So David Sheward gets the next question, though. He gets to see, and you could kind of take the game right here, especially if you
Okay.
get this right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Closing the Beagles' Let It Be album is an impromptu rendition of an old folk song about thieving prostitute Maggie May. At 39 seconds, it's the second shortest Beatles song on their official albums. The first being what song that you'll hear on Abbey Road
Oh my God. So what's the shortest Beatles song?
on record.
And it's not necessarily doesn't necessarily have a May in it.
Well, no, because Maggie May, no, it's not. The answer doesn't have May. Maggie May is
Not have
the
May in it.
second.
It's the
Right, yeah.
shortest Beatles song.
He's ripping off Maggie May.
All right. Let's see. And it's on Abbey Road.
That is correct.
Oh God. I'm not that familiar with. I don't know them intimately, so I'm gonna have to guess and say Popcorn for Everybody.
Is that your? Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Not the popcorn. No. I'm gonna roll it down. I don't know. Jason, this is already an in joke. Yeah, so far.
I just like the voice. I don't care.
Thank you very much. So, Jason, you, the die came up number 6. That means you get to steal, or try to. If you know the shortest Beatles song, it's even shorter than Maggie May, and it was on the album Abbey Road.
Well, I had that album. All right, I'm just going to say, I'm just trying to picture the thing, it's photographic. And so I'm going to say, I say, she say, all right, I'm going to say Her Majesty.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Well, Jason, I guess you gotta crown yourself king because that is the correct answer.
Yeah.
He did. He got it.
I knew that one. Good for you, Jason.
Yes!
Good for you.
I
Yay.
saw it at the end. I saw it at the end.
Right, it's
Yeah.
Her Majesty's a very nice girl. I know. That's the one that came to mind. That's funny.
Oh my
You,
God.
you said
That was,
you said you didn't know rock and roll.
I know, but that was that one album like all my friends had. So,
Well, wasn't that the right one to have?
There you go. Now you have bragging rights because let me tell you, Jason, sometimes we get guests who've never played this game before. They come on, they get, and it's no shame. I mean, it's not an easy quiz and they don't even get on the board. So even getting 2 points in the today, yesterday game, that is an achievement.
Notice how he pats himself on the back sideways when he gives you this compliment, eh? Okay. He does.
And
He
you're tied
comes
with
up
it.
with a question and then he turns it around the corner and comes up with another part of it. Right?
Well, basically.
Did you know that one, David? Oh, you didn't know that
No,
one.
he
Oh, that's right. You didn't know that one.
I didn't
Okay.
know.
All right.
Did you know that one, Leslie? Did you know it was?
Yes, I said Her Majesty's a very nice girl. That's
Well, no, but
the-
did you
that's
know it
the
before?
line.
I know you know the song, but did
Yes,
you?
I knew it. I told
That was
yes,
the whole
I knew
song,
it.
Her Majesty's a
I
Very
was trying to keep a straight face. I was so happy. But I'm glad that Jason got on the board. So
Thank
that's
you.
In the 23
I can hold my head up.
Yeah.
Believe it.
you got the right one. Did you say photographic? Like, is it? Do you have an eidetic memory that you can do that?
It's medium, but I think that's how so many actors memorize their stuff and musicians. You see it where it is on the page. And
Yeah.
That
That's
helps.
very true.
All right. Well,
I, on the other hand, had to carry cards with me on stage sometimes.
did you really? Did you have the Al Pacino?
I didn't want
or-
I got put into company. I was not acting anymore. I was directing another show next door in a summer stock thing. And Joanne broke her ankle or had a baby or some crazy thing. So they pulled me in to play Joanne because I was with my deep voice and they knew I could sing. And so I literally did it in 2 days. And I couldn't remember anything, certainly not the lines, because Ladies Who Lunch I memorized from the album. And it's not exactly the same when you're trying to sing it. So I had a cigarette case. And in the cigarette case were my lines on cards. And I would open up my cigarette case and look at it and smile and sing, and open up my cigarette case and smile and sing. But I got through it. I actually got a very nice review out of it.
Well, I heard you were a Jenny-ish Joanne. Actually, you can. Yeah. that's right.
To you too, darling.
to you too.
Anywho, we have. Well, it's not a tie game. We have David Sheward still with 6 points, but Jason and Leslie tied with 2. So technically, we could. No.
Okay, so now we have to fight to the death to see who gets out of.
We have one more question though, and this goes
Tell
to
you that part. We didn't tell you that part, Jason. Yeah, right.
the gladiatorial part. We have one more question before we get to our tiebreaker just for fun. But here's a question for Leslie Hoban Blake directly, and this one is something that happened on May 1st. So this is like an old school today, yesterday question. On May 1st, 2000, although his father had died the night before, this Italian tenor sang for Pope John Paul II the next day, and then went to the funeral. Name this singer, who is an avid horseback rider, despite a childhood injury making that activity unlikely.
I would think Bocelli. I would assume it was Bocelli.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I mean, all of the clues fit. Thank you. Andrea Bocelli.
Well, I'm going to unblind the answer. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was Andrea Bocelli. Well done. Well done.
I love her.
Her
I
and
love
Marcovici.
Andrea.
Is the
Her
horse
and Marcovici are my 2 favorite Andreas.
There you go.
how he went blind? The horse fell on him or something?
Oh, that's
No, he had a sports injury. He was partially blind when he was 5 years old, and then but he had sight. And then when he was 12, he was playing sports, and he got hit with something in the face, and that made him completely blind. So, but he didn't hold him back. He was
such a
like
handsome
sexy
man. I
man for a
mean,
while.
he's an extraordinarily handsome man.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah, and he gave you 2 points, Leslie. So
And he gave me 2 points, so I love him.
So here's the game. Here's the thing. That was the last regular question.
Sorry, Jason.
So the points stand at David Sheward 6, Leslie Hoban 2. No, you don't, Jason. No, you don't. Because we have one more question just for funsies. If it were a tiebreaker, we would have a tiebreaker. But our last question, just a what, babe? Well, just a little bit
Have
different.
we run out of time, Joyce?
She instead, because all three of you get to answer the question at the same time, that is why I asked for the pen and paper. So instead of saying it out loud, I'll give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and then you will show your answer to the camera. So, are you guys?
I love the sound effects that are coming from the side. It makes me so happy.
Well, actually, that's not Joyce. We've hired a guy to make those sounds. He's like Fred Travelina. He's really, really
Oh,
good.
it's making, oh, right.
Oh, wow. So he and Joyce are over on the side doing God knows what.
Yeah, right. It's the guy from Police Academy. He's actually making those.
Oh, God knows, Jason.
Fred
God.
Travelina, wow.
No.
I don't even know. Anywho, are you guys ready for the tiebreaker?
Yes.
Joe, hit us with it.
April showers bring May flowers, of course. Speaking of poetry, what writer described the Mayflower as being, quote, pink, small, and punctual?
All right. Okay.
Wow, what a writing.
Jason's actually doing a short story as we speak. Here we go.
He's correcting his work from the class.
All right,
Okay.
are you guys ready with your? Because I'll read the question again, and then I'll give a 3, 2, 1. You guys ready for
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the question. April showers bring May flowers, of course. Speaking of poetry, what writer described the Mayflower as being pink, small, and punctual? When I get to 3, 2, 1, please hold up. Your answers. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I see Robert Frost. I see Robert Louis Stevenson, and Leslie. It's Shakespeare.
Shecky Green.
And the answer is none of the above. It's actually
T.S. Eliot.
no. It's actually a really lovely poem by Emily Dickinson.
Oh.
You should,
Oh.
yeah.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. Well, from Julie Harris, I guess, or what was her?
Go ahead, David. That's your cue for your,
The bell of
last
Hamlet.
night line. He just gave it to you.
Oh.
At the final bell. But well, you didn't get that question, but you all just did so well and really so much fun. You tried your best. That's right.
Joyce,
Do I
come
get
on
my
screen.
little
I want
best
to look at
trophy?
you.
Do I get my little I tried my best trophy? I want my little I tried my best trophy.
Here you go, Les. Here.
Thank you. Okay. Hello,
You get
potato.
Yeah. Joyce, do you want to come on? It's funny. My wife does not want to come on. She's a lovely lady, but she will not. She will not come on camera.
Hi, Joyce. We don't really believe that you're there.
My surgery's still in progress.
Yeah. And we don't want to say what, but guys, it has been absolutely, at least from this perspective, so delightful and so fun. So let me thank all of you. First of all, to our great new and old friend of the neighborhood, Jason Graae. Jason, please come back and play. I know this is not an easy game to play, but I hope.
Now you tell me.
But just a delight to have you. Please come back and play. And everybody, please go and rent, or whatever they call it, Perfect Harmony, which again, please remind everybody how they can do that.
Oh, okay. Well, it closes tomorrow. It's been running for 5 weeks. And so you can go to 42ndstreetmoon.org. You can go onto their website and you can go out of there and click on to the show. And I think it's $25 or something. And the money goes to the theater, and it's a great theater. It's where I've been doing Scrooge in Love, the new musical Scrooge in Love, which is the sequel to A Christmas Carol. It's a year later. And Larry Grossman, Broadway composer extraordinaire, wrote the music. And Callan Blair, who wrote Murder for Two, wrote the lyrics.
Oh.
And Dwayne Poole, my friend Dwayne Poole, wrote the book. And it's
so where's that going? I mean, are you making plans for that in 2020? 2, let's say?
I hope so. I hope so. We've done it 3 years in San Francisco at 42nd Street Moon, and then we had to. It was such a hit. We moved it over to the Marines Memorial Theater, and it won every possible award it could win in San Francisco. So now we got to bring it to LA and New York. So let's hope.
Are you in San Francisco now, Jason?
I live in LA.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of cool. I got to tell you, I was a little sorry to go on about me, but I feel like I should make it up since I did so poorly in the show. But in the game. But when they offered me Scrooge, I was kind of insulted because I was like, obviously kind of too young for Scrooge. And then I Googled him, and Scrooge is like in his early 50s during Christmas Carol. So I'm actually too old for him. Okay.
Jason, at the Hudson Guild Children's Theater, my son played Scrooge in the musical Scrooge when he was 14. So,
Yes. Perfect casting.
So, don't ever feel that you're
He's
there's no such thing as too young.
That's right.
But he didn't get married in it. That's wonderful. I have to tell him about your show. He'll have to watch it.
But speaking of shows, I also want to ask Jason: are there any dates for you beyond obviously watching Perfect Harmony? Any shows that you're doing either in person or other virtual stuff between like now and early next year? So where we'll be able to see.
Yeah, I just got a play with at Santa Barbara Ensemble Theater opposite Linda Pearl. Linda Pearl?
Yeah,
she's fantastic, and it's a play called Tenderly, and it's about Rosemary Clooney when she had her nervous breakdown and went into a mental hospital.
Oh, sounds like fun.
It's the feel bad musical of the year.
Who's playing her? Is it you or Linda Pearl is playing?
Linda would be playing Rosemary. Thank you, Dave. And I'm playing all the men in her life. Although I hope I don't have to play George Clooney because the theater's not big enough.
But the hair is right. The hair is right.
The hair is so right.
Jose Ferrer and other.
Yeah, be Jose Ferrer, and I'm playing her psychiatrist and her father and all the men in her life. So it's a 2-person play, but it should be really interesting. And I can't wait to work with Linda. I can't wait to work. Period.
Yes,
so I'm so excited to go into a theater. So that'll be coming up, and I think we're doing a Forever Plaid original cast reunion in Long Beach this summer. We're going to do a 2-week run in an outdoor theater in Long Beach. So
yay!
That should be kind of cool.
So is it? You have a website, right? JasonGraae.com, where people you keep it up and people can see what you're doing. And
well, yeah, but the upcoming appearances has been like sitting blank for a year. So maybe now I can start adding stuff to it.
Right, Jason Graae.
Sitting blank with Sitting Bull's younger brother. I'm sorry, I tried, David. See, I can't do it.
Honest Indian.
I can't do it. Mine are bad, but they're not bad the way yours are bad.
Well, so many of us, speaking of Indians during the past year, we ran out of TP.
Oh, that's such a stretch.
David Sheward, you can read his work in culturalweekly.com, theaterlife.com, as well as his blog, which is The David Desk. And what did you write about this week, Dave?
Well, before the Oscars, I did my Oscar predictions, and I did okay. I did all right.
What were you wrong with? What was your biggest mistake?
I didn't guess Anthony Hopkins. I thought it was going to be Chadwick Boseman. I had a feeling I was really split about Glenn Close. I didn't know if she was going to win, I thought she was going to win because it was her 8th try. But I'm not unhappy that Jin Young, I think her name is how you pronounce it, the Korean actress, won because I really loved her performance. So I did okay.
She was the only comedy in the show.
Yeah, when she danced
so
the butt.
Hilarious. Oh my God. Funny.
And this week I'm working on one of the things on the David Desk that I'm doing is reconstructing the Carol Burnett show because it's in pieces all over the place. There are DVDs and the half hours that they show on MeTV are all split up. I'm trying to reconstruct the show as it was originally. So there are certain episodes that are like in pieces, and I'm trying to figure out what the whole, and just writing about it and whether, my.
Will you actually put up the show as it should run, or just
I just write about it.
Oh, okay. I would love to see the other way too. Okay. that
This
too.
episode has this piece on MeTV and this piece on
Right,
the
right. I
TV.
got you. I understand what you mean.
Well, I'm so glad we've had this time together with David Sheward, and you can read his blog again at The David Desk. Now, Leslie, Hoban, Blake, have you guys, you and Charlie, done a new podcast or video cast?
We've done a new interview, but it hasn't been posted. I've been very busy. I have a health issue that I'm taking care of, and Charlie has some personal stuff that he's taking care of. So we're kind of skipping a week. But we did an interview with Robert Villagas, who started the new Encore Theater
My
magazine.
former boss,
And
yes. Yeah.
I never got to write for him, but I've always known him, and I think he's a lovely guy. And I'm just thrilled to death about. Have you seen the new magazine, Jason?
You know what? I haven't. No, I have
Well,
not.
Encore Monthly. I'm
Encore.
sure if you send a note, they'll send it to you. They'll
Yeah.
send you
I've seen it.
a trial copy, and it's beautiful to look. I mean, I have not that I'm shilling for Robert Villagas, but I happen to have these two right next to where we were. Well, we were doing the shoot here, so and it's a beautiful magazine, and the newest one has Daphne Rubin Vega on the cover. And so we haven't even worked on putting that together yet, because we ran for about an hour because we chatted, and there were so many theater stories to talk about, obviously. So,
And Robert has
we
written
have to
books
cut it
about
down.
Forest Line, and he's written
Oh yeah,
Fantastics, I think he wrote a book about as well.
he wrote a book about Fantastics. He wrote a book about he collected the Louis Bodo stories about at this theater into a
Oh,
second
yeah.
book.
Oh.
He did a
Mm.
book on major musicals. Yeah, he's quite a guy, and he had retired from Playbill. And
Yeah,
he got married. He married his childhood girlfriend
true.
from junior high school. They met at a
Am I frozen or?
reunion,
Oh.
and they sheltered together, and the next thing you know, what do you know? They're married. So isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
So we talked about, we have an hour's worth of material. We got to get down to 20 minutes. I can't wait to see how
Why
that's
don't you
going to
do it
work
two
out.
parts if you got that much good material, can't you?
I'll mention that to Charlie, and we'll see. We don't know if it's that good, because we all got, the way we do here, we all got started talking on other things, and it doesn't make for a good interview.
Every moment here, Leslie, is gold. Every single second.
Well, when I'm on, but
Well, Leslie, if you come on a little earlier, there's
but enough
there's shorter.
about me. How did you all like the show?
Well, guys, it has been absolutely delightful. Of course, David and Leslie, I'll see you guys next week, either 10:30, 10:45. We'll let you know. And Jason, I'm serious. If you ever want to come back and do this again, yeah, I can see that in your face. You are more than.
No, let me think about it. I've got a really busy schedule coming up, Dave. But listen, thanks. I would love to come back. This was I feel like I was back in New York City for the last hour and a half. Was it only an hour and a half?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was really
You'll
wonderful.
never get back, Jason.
Well,
It was
Jason,
a kick in the pants seeing you. Thank you for having me.
It's the crack of dawn out in LA, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's 9:00 now.
Oh Jesus! No, I said
miss
I
seniors.
use this to get up on Saturday morning. You asked me why I do it. I do it to wake up on Saturday morning.
No,
Well-
you guys are good. I was honored to be in your company.
well, it's an honor to have all of you in the neighborhood. I thank you so much for visiting. I'm going to have to remove you one by one from the thing, but thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
And best of luck, Jason. Best of luck, David. And Leslie, health and everything else. Best of luck to all of you.
Thanks
We
so
hope
much.
to see you
Thank you,
all.
too, Dave. And bye, Joyce. It was great to not see you.
Bye, guys.
Ah.